to scratch yourself so bad. He's only gone and done it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've officially gotten a hair transplant. Now, I can't say I'm surprised that I'm here, but it does feel a little bit surreal, and I'm very excited. Fortunately, I've come back with all my kidneys, and not as one of the starting 12 for this year's Royal Ascot race, but I want to give you guys the full experience and the journey, just because when I was just about to get my procedure, I really looked for that one video that explained it all and gave a rough outline of literally everything that you could possibly want to know. Right off the bat, to be transparent, due to my ingenious content style, I was able to get this transplant funded by the clinic that I went to. But let's say that wasn't the case and I wasn't able to, I still would have went to Istanbul, because I don't really have 5 to 10 pounds for a single graft. Especially, I'll tell you guys how many grafts I had soon, but with the amount of grafts I had, it wasn't possible. So it's been 1 week and 1 day since I had my transplant. Now, I booked my flight to leave on the Sunday. It arrived late at night, and then I booked it back for the Saturday late at night as well. So I wanted to leave a little bit of room in there to do some exploring, obviously my healing, get the procedure done, all the content and stuff. But as well as that, if I was going to go all the way there, and it's not even that far, but I really wanted it to double as a holiday as well, and I was happy that I was able to do that. Now, for the actual process, it can really be split into 3 sections. First is pre-procedure, then is during the procedure, and right after, and then after that is post-procedure. Now, somehow, because I was destined to make content, I'd say I was involuntarily born into the hair loss niche. So therefore, my pre-procedure was a lot easier than was for a lot of other people, and this includes things such as researching the clinic, managing my expectations, knowing what the desired goals are for this hair transplant, which sort of relates back to the managing expectations, and probably most importantly, knowing that I need to start or continue use of medical therapy. And this is things such as finasteride, minoxidil, dutasteride, DHT blockers. But even for the clinic I went to, I still made sure that they met my requirements. And feel free to take some of these requirements as well and apply them to your pre-procedure process. And these are things such as the medical doctor will have involvement in the procedure, as well as, I like some of their previous work, that their post-op was on point, because that's very important, arguably just as important as the actual procedure. And then as well as that, because I wanted to give a raw reality and film my whole experience, that I was given full creative freedom as well. And of course, as here I am, those requirements were met. So operation day was on Tuesday, but on Monday, besides from doing, the visit of Istanbul, the touristy sections, the non-touristy sections, and just enjoying my free time while I didn't have bandages wrapped on my head and I didn't have to be careful of the grafts in my head, I went to the clinic, I did, a tour of it, I met everyone that would be doing my procedure. So that was great. And I also did a blood test as well as a hair analysis. Now, the blood test is just standard procedure, but the hair analysis is to make sure that everything's fine with the donor area, the recipient area that you're going to have the grafts inserted to on the top. Turns out I did find out that, shocking, my hair is quite thin, but because I'm on medical therapy, and I have been for a couple of years now, I had solid foundations for the transplant. And it's always fun to see what your hair looks like up close, because you get the magnifier with the bright light and you really get to see all your roots. And I got to see where my hair had grown in from the roots after I dyed my hair. So it was a fun experience. Oh, and also it's to make sure you don't have any contraindications for the procedure. And basically these are circumstances that would get in the way of you having a procedure and they would interfere with healing or anything of that sort. Then lastly, to make sure we were all on the same page about the hairline and where the grafts would be inserted, we did a couple minor tweaks of the design. Satin, I actually really wanted that Minecraft Steve hairline, but I couldn't do that. After a while, we finalized a hairline. Also very important, I made it known, and they knew this of course already, but I just wanted to make sure that they knew that the hairline would only be single grafts for about 1 centimeter inwards. And this is just to ensure that it looks natural, and then after that the density would be strongest at the front, because this is the first thing you see, and then that it would gradually taper off, but still have solid density. Now, in some of my short form videos, you would have seen that I had 5,000 grafts written on my forehead, but turns out after the procedure, I actually got less than this. I got a little bit over 4,200 grafts. But this is an important note to make. When getting a hair transplant, if you're getting quoted for really a lot of grafts, probably 6,000, 7,000 upwards, depending on your level of thinning, balding, whatever you want to call it. It's important not to ransack your donor area, and at least in one go as well, because not only will you maybe want more procedures down the line, touch-ups, let's say, and so it'd be good to be conservative with your donor area, but also if you take out too many grafts from the back of your head, the occipital region and the side regions, then it's not going to heal properly, and there's going to be scarring, and it's going to be visible that you had something done. So it's better to be conservative than to have that Crispy Steve Minecraft lineup. And the next day came along, aka procedure day. It was a quite an early start. I think I woke up around 7:30, left by 8 to arrive by 9, or a little bit before, and start by 9 a.m. Right as I got there, the final hairline was decided on. It was drawn on with a more permanent marker, and then I was headed straight to the shave room, which doubles as a washroom as well, where you get your head washed, 2 days after the procedure. But I'm not gonna lie, I felt aerodynamic as ever, and for some reason I got the sudden urge to buy a suit, lease an Aston Martin, and smoke a cigar. But because I had a long day ahead of me, I hopped straight in that chair because we had a 7-hour session of hair transplant ahead of me. Now about me being able to lease that Aston Martin, let me introduce you guys to the sponsor of this part of the video, Scandinavian Biolab, a hair growth company helping you make the most of your hair, whether that be post-transplant, wanting a natural way to regrow your hair, or I'll just maximizing the chances of being known as that person with luscious locks. I'll be there soon. Hair loss in men and women can sometimes partly be due to a reduction in blood flow to the scalp, and that is one of the main goals of Scandinavian Biolab. So the 3-step routine helps do exactly that. Helps prolong the hair growth cycle and help make you more confident with your hair. Oh, and it's also clinically and dermatologically tested. Now, because I'm able to wash my hair again after the transplant, I'll first lather up my hair with the BioPolixion shampoo, and while I leave that in for a minute or two, I'll ponder with excitement about how I'll likely be able to have better hair than my girlfriend's celebrity crush. After which I use the BioPolixion hair recovery conditioner to enhance the durability of my hair and also reduce breakage. So even though I got a hair transplant, it's really important to keep those new hairs healthy and also not forget about the hair I had there before and try and save those. So my hair is now the optimal environment for helping to enhance hair growth. So I then use the BioPolixion serum as the main event to encourage that new growth and also help with my thinning hair. And if it's good for 100,000 other men and women, it's good enough for me. But don't just take my word for it, give it a try and let me know how you get on. Check out either the first link in my bio or go to scandinavianbiolabs.co.uk, but make sure to use my code because that gets you 20% off all products. Now back to the most uncomfortable part of my hair transplant. Now, as much as I'd like to play off that the anesthesia was a breeze, easily a 7.5 or 8 out of 10, especially in this front scalp bit and right here. Obviously, the more you get in your forehead and your head, the less you'll start to feel the following ones. So that was only temporary, max for about 60 seconds in bursts. Then the procedure goes on, just your average Tuesday. Hairs are being pulled out of the back of your head. They're being counted on the side to see how many follicles are in each graft. And then after that, they're put into your scalp as well. So, just a regular day. You also get a little break in between to have some water and some food. I don't know what it was. Don't know what was in that rice. Maybe it was chickpea, but it was insanely good. I didn't even know I liked chickpea like that. Anyway, guys, I'd like to let you know that it's okay to snore and sleep during your procedure. Just make sure that it doesn't get in the way of the procedure. Just thought I'd fling that out there. Eventually, the procedure will wrap up, and the first thing you want to do, whether you are awake or not, is to go and look in the mirror. It's such a weird feeling. Now, you feel a little bit disoriented. You need to take it slow. Make sure to take it slow. But I couldn't wipe that smile off my face. And I've heard, and from what I've seen, this is the exact same thing for every guy or girl who gets this done. Then you get the debrief. So this is super simple and quick, and it puts a lot of emphasis on the first 10 days. Now for the first 10 days, just to give you guys a little bit of insight, sleeping, horrible, I'm not gonna lie. Very uncomfortable for the first day, and the second day you gradually get used to it, but you sleep at a 45-degree angle, not only to help with the swelling, but also so you don't damage the grafts, because all that work would be for nothing if something gently touches it. They're very, very fragile for those first few days. Then you get told to limit sun exposure because the sun is a deadly ray. Oh, and no alcohol, smoking, or direct water pressure on the scalp as well. And you also get given medication, but these are things such as paracetamol, some antibiotics, among a few other things. They give you a whole folder of papers outlining not only the first 10 days post-procedure, but after that, months to follow, things you should do, things you shouldn't do, the best practices, medical therapies, what shampoos you want to use after. Really, they go really into depth. Definitely give this a read in my downtime. And you also get given a post-hair transplant washing kit. The clinic isn't sponsored by this brand, but essentially you get given a shampoo as well as a washing foam. Now the washing foam is to be used after the shampoo, only on the top of the head, but the shampoo can be used both on the back, where scabs will still form where the hair was taken out, as well as the top. And man, was that uncomfortable, the wash day. Not only getting the bandages off, but you have to give the back of the head gentle scrub. You get given this guy right here. Don't even get me started on the sleeping. You gotta wear this. Looks a bit silly, but it helps you not let the top of your head touch pillows or your duvet or whatever it may be. And as you'll see, the whole washing procedure is very straightforward. Although when you get it done a couple of days after procedure, it's a little tender, the area, so it's not the most comfortable thing. But it was so good to get those bandages off. You feel free and actually wash the area gently. Overall, you really don't have anything to worry about the procedure. If you go with a good clinic, they'll make sure that everything that is nervous turns into excitement. You'll have a smooth transition from the airport to the hotel. You can eat before the procedure, so it'll be nice. You can have a breakfast, and the transport from the hotel to the clinic as well. Now, as for after the procedure, the only thing was I had to be really careful when I was getting into the van they provided to go back to the hotel, and then also getting out of that van. I had to be careful I didn't bang my head. You really are like as delicate as a baby, almost. It's like you should shield yourself from anything, and you have to walk slowly and no sweating, and make sure you don't raise your heart rate. Now, as it's been 1 week and 1 day since my procedure, how are the pain levels over that time? Now, it's definitely the worst on the first day, and it's not even pain, but they do give you pain medication if you do have any, but it's just discomfort. Like I said, with the 45-degree angle sleeping, it was a bit tough to get to sleep that night, but maybe that's just because I was excited about the hair transplant, and I kept looking in the mirror. As well as the swelling and the discomfort from the sleeping, you also may experience a little bit of itching. That's normal. Obviously, you can itch it, unfortunately, but I would say the thing that helped me the most was taking a fan and blowing air onto the top of my head. I know it sounds a little bit silly, maybe you can even use your hands, but that really seemed to help a lot with the itching and getting over that sudden urge to do that. As you know, the days goes on, sleeping gets a little bit easier, you get used to it, and obviously after the wash day you feel a lot cleaner and better, and so it subsides after those first few days. So now we're entering the post-procedure phase, and the only thing I would say is probably leave a little bit of breathing room when you travel in the place that you get your hair transplant done. Not only to chill and relax, but it's just nice. You got surgery done, you treat yourself. Maybe get some room service if you're in Istanbul, get the baklava, that Dubai chocolate. There was a lot of that out there and it's really good. So yeah, take the time to explore the city, especially if it's a new one, and take it all in. Other than that, obviously it's been 1 week and 1 day since I've had my procedure, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. Now, the top has started to scab a little bit. I'm still washing it every day, and a few of the scabs are starting to come off with that wash. It takes a lot of patience, this hair transplant. It's not a one and done, because the whole results take about a year to see, but you'll see most of them majority at 8 to 10 months. So it's just prepping the mind for that patience and not rushing things. Learning about why medical therapy is a good thing to use after a hair transplant to make sure that you keep the hair that you haven't gotten hair transplanted so the results stay the same, and those sort of things. Another thing I cannot emphasize enough is to take photos, whether that be every day, every couple of days, every week. You need to take photos, not only to see the progress, because it's so good to look back and see that. I did it with my skin when I dealt with acne, but also to send to your clinic. If they're a good clinic, they should be keeping up with you, telling you if it looks good, maybe some things that they would tweak and adjust, and those sort of things. For those of you who got through the video not wanting to scratch off my head, congratulations. I definitely want to. I'm not one of those people. It's itchy, definitely, and I can't stop touching it. I can't wait for these scabs to come off. So yeah, doing a bit of coping right now because it takes a while to see the results. But regardless, I will definitely be doing updates, probably 3, 6, and 12 months. But if you have any questions generally on a hair transplant experience, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Or if you feel like I missed anything, also tell me, and hopefully I can address that in the comments or in an upcoming video as well. Yeah, stay tuned for my results. I hope the urge to scratch these off wasn't as great as mine, and I'll see you in the upcoming videos for my update.